The doctor called with the results. It's cancer. Now what? 5 years ago, after 41 years in the full-time practice of law, I stepped away, only to face a brand new problem. What should I do with the rest of my life? I sought the answer by using the same system I had employed over my career, and I found the answer. Serve my generation, people over 50, nearing or in retirement, dismissed by others deserving better. Each week, I'll walk you through the method I use to solve problems you may be facing now over health, finances, isolation, family, and even cognitive decline. So you not only walk away with a solution, but a solutions framework for your future. It's cancer. What a terrifying thing to hear. But here's what I want you to understand. That's not actually the problem you're feeling right now. I mean, it seems like the problem. It's the problem you carried into the room, but the real problem you're feeling isn't the diagnosis. The real problem is the 20 other problems that flood your mind all at once, things you never thought about a moment before the diagnosis. Suddenly, you're worried about your future, your money, your health insurance, what this means for your family, everything, all at once. So the problem you walked in with, I've been diagnosed with cancer, isn't the problem we need to solve today. The problem today is that right now, you have too many thoughts crowding your head all at once and feel overwhelmed trying to deal with any of them clearly. What I'm going to do right now is sit with you the way I would if you were across the desk from me in my office and help you deal with the overwhelm to position you to make better decisions moving forward. Now let's think about what's actually going through your head in a moment like this. Will I live? How long? Can it be cured? Will I need surgery, chemo, radiation? Will I lose my hair? Do I have enough insurance? What if I need long-term care? What happens to my income if I'm out of work? What about my family's finances? And then almost cruelly, a new thought arrives on top of all the others. Why am I even thinking about money right now when this is my life? And then on and on, the problems in your mind compound. That's the real problem. And we solve it the same way I've solved problems for over 46 years. By separating the problem we're going to solve today into two categories. First, the things you have no control over. And second, the things you can do something about. Gaining clarity about these is the first step. Okay. It's undisputed that you have no control over the fact that you have received the diagnosis. It's already been made. You can't change that. It's a fact. So set it down. Don't fight it. Don't waste precious time trying to wish it away. Next, there are things over which you do have some control. What treatment will you choose if you're given options? Which doctor will you eventually trust with that treatment? Whether or not to get a second opinion. Those are some of the things which are yours to decide, and there are many more. Now, here's how you gain control of those things in just a few steps. First, get a pad of paper and a pen. Find somewhere quiet. Take a few breaths. Now, you might be thinking, I'm too overwhelmed for this. I can't organize my thoughts right now. I understand all of this, but this isn't heavy lifting, and you don't have to do it all in one sitting. Just get the pad and the pen out. That's the first step. Then start writing down everything that's competing for space in your head. Do I get a second opinion? You don't decide it at the moment, you just write it down. Then you might write down, decide between my treatment options. Then next, determine if my insurance will cover this. Then next, evaluate whether I have enough money set aside or accessible to get by if I'm out of work. How about writing down, decide on how I tell my family and how I will answer the inevitable questions I'll be asked by others. These are all things you'll be facing, all things that could be in your head, compounding on top of each other. Get these things out of your head and onto paper. Because in your head, none of it is organized. It's just looping over and over with no progress. On paper, it becomes something you can actually manage. It exists and it's retrievable and accessible on your terms. Once it's all written down, then go back and prioritize it. Just stay on the same list, go through the list, and number each item in terms of priority. What's the most important? Number one. Next most important, number two, and on until you get the list all numbered. And then when you do, move them around until the list reflects actually what matters most, what truly needs to be done first, second, third, and so on. Then rewrite it clean, in order, and put the rough draft of the list away. Then, one day, in the morning, make looking at the list your first task of the day. Start at the top. Take care of the first thing on the list, the most important thing, which might simply be talking to the person who matters most to you, a spouse, a child, a friend, and help decide together whether to get a second opinion. That might be all you do that day. Then work down the list, one item at a time. If the matter isn't for today, live life and let the list go until tomorrow. And if you never reach page 8, well, that's fine, because it didn't list the most important things anyway. Now, here's why this works and what problem it solves. It takes the weight out of your head and puts it into a new container, one you don't have to carry around every waking minute. You do the next right thing in order and let the rest wait its turn. You don't ignore it. You work your way through the list. This solution isn't about solving cancer today. It's about changing your mindset from doom and worry and everything crashing in at once to something that's visible, structured, and manageable. That's what frees your mind to focus on the life you're actually living right now, today, while you handle the rest of your worries one line at a time. My father was an architect. He designed schools and hospitals, churches, enormous buildings. I used to watch him work at his drafting table in our living room when I was a boy, and I wondered, how does one person design something so complex? Every door, every wall, every wire. So one time I asked him, I said, Dad, how do you do this? And his answer was, son, if I ever thought about the whole project at once, I'd give up before I started. I was trained, he said, to do it one line at a time. I've built my entire career on that same principle. 46 years, thousands of people sitting across the desk from me at the end of their rope, and almost every time the problem they walked in with wasn't the real problem. The doctor called with results you can't undo. But what you can do is take the worry out of the life you have left so that every day, whether it's 5 years or 50, isn't spent carrying a weight you never had to carry alone. That's the method, one line at a time. If this helped you see your own situation a little differently, I'd ask you to do 2 things. First, subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. And if you haven't already, check out the video Start Here, where I share more about why I started this show in the first place. And next week, we're tackling another problem a lot of people over 50 are quietly carrying alone, feeling lack of purpose, and why it hits harder than most people expect. I hope to see you then.